social media companies are intelligence assets for the countries that produce them, and social media companies have been an arm of American influence. That's why lots of nations that try and resist being in the American or NATO orbit often ban social media companies, American social media companies. I know Russia has, and many other countries in the Middle East have as well. Obviously, China has too, because they see it as this arm of American influence. I actually used to have a source at the State Department in the Trump administration. He said the deep state loved social media free speech when it was helping them regime change, say, Libya or Egypt, or helping, whip up activism in Iran. But as soon as, 2015, as soon as Brexit and Donald Trump happened, they started to worry that free speech on social media could mean they get regime changed. That's where you see that turning point, social media shifting from a user-led system of content moderation with block buttons and optional maturity filters to this top-down model where content filters are imposed on everyone without any choice to opt out. And again, like you said, this is not really a conspiracy. There was a report recently in The Intercept, mostly based on public information, including some documents from lawsuits, that shows the Department of Homeland Security did have regular meetings with Twitter and Facebook executives. They even had a special portal that Facebook built for them that allowed them to flag content to be taken down or labeled. So, the Homeland Security, the anti-terrorism agency, was working up with the social media companies. And it gets even more sinister when you look at the kind of topics they were focused on. They were, it wasn't just the things you'd expect. It was things like racial justice, topics like the Afghanistan withdrawal, like the Ukraine war. These were the areas where they were looking to so-called misinformation.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because, I go to the search bar of Twitter when I like to search things, and they have a list of suggested items, trending items. And every single time for me, one of them is the latest on the war in Ukraine. I am somewhat interested in it, but I think those are either hand curated or they're sold as ads. And I keep thinking, who's advertising the war in Ukraine to me? Because literally no matter what else is trending, that war, and I'm in Canada, I really don't have a connection to Ukraine. I don't think Canada does, other than, Trudeau has the same narrative that other NATO leaders have. But it's not close to Canada. It's not our neighbor. There are some Ukrainian Canadians, of course, and so there's some historical ethnic ties, but it's very far away. And the fact that is pitched to me as hot news every single day, I feel like that war is being sold to me in an ad. And I keep thinking that is Twitter. It is a mind-shaping machine that Elon Musk himself talks about mind viruses. I think they're a thing. And I think that's Twitter's true value. It's not, the $8 a month or whatever it can make selling premium services. It's the people I think that's what social media always has been. If you're not paying for it, it's because you yourself are what's for sale. Maybe that's the obvious.
To newspapers and TV stations where they could just go to them and make them put Saddam Hussein or Muammar Gaddafi on the front page every single day, so people would actually care what's going on in these far-flung countries that don't have much to do with America. And, the modern day equivalent to that is the Facebook trending topics. It is the Twitter trending topics. And, we can remember, it didn't used to be the case. It used to be the case that what was in the trending bar on Twitter was hashtags, what's popular on Twitter. And you just see slowly over time they've replaced this with this top-down model where they're just feeding everyone the same kind of content, the stuff they want you to care about, the stuff they want you to see. And, the number one thing right now is Ukraine.
What you just saw was an excerpt from my nightly show, the Ezra Levant Show. Every weekday, I do a monologue. Usually it's about half an hour. Then I interview an interesting guest, and then we read my hate mail or my fan mail, whichever is more fun. It's only available behind a paywall, though. That's how we pay our bills here at Rebel News. We don't take a dime from Justin Trudeau. But the good news is it's only $8 a month, about half the price of Netflix. And in addition to my nightly show, you also get weekly shows from 4 other friends here at Rebel News. So you're getting 36 shows a month just for $8. I think it's worth it. And even if you're not quite sure, do it anyways, because we rely on viewers like you to keep us free and independent. I promise you I'll never take a dime from Trudeau. Just go to rebelnewsplus.com and click subscribe. Thanks.